Hello, we're going to be talking about continuous improvement again today. So the topic will be Pareto charts. And so what we're going to look at is this Pareto diagram. And what we do with the Pareto diagram is use it to help determine what to focus on when we're dealing with multiple problems. And we look at the errors that happen, okay, the defects, and we track those defects, and you really make two graphs. And the graphs that we can make are pretty simple. You have your bar graph here, and then you have a cumulative percentage up here. So they are arranged in order from most frequent defect to least frequent defect, from left to right. And your percentage of defect increases as you go, because once you are at your last category of defect, you should have reached 100% of your data. We look at this Pareto chart and look, they do an analysis. It's basically just the frequency. Okay? How frequent are these defects occurring? And then you can see by the frequency which problem you need to focus on first. The Pareto Principle says that 80% of our problems, and here's 80% right here, are caused by 20% of our defects, our causes, I should say. And so you can see that, this cumulative, this is the percentage of paint scratch, and when you add the percentage of dent to the percentage of paint scratch, you get 80%, because the cumulative percentage is on the right and the frequency is on the left. Okay? So lots of times we tie dollar amounts to these, and when the dollar amounts are tied to them, sometimes the chart changes a little bit, because maybe one process is a little bit more expensive than another. So really not too hard to construct one of these. You have to decide what data you want to collect: paint, dents, ignition, etc. Determine the frequency of those or the cost of those that you're going to track. Collect your data, tally it all up, organize it by frequency, greatest to least, and then plot your data. As an example here, we have broken shelf, compressor failure, enamel scratch, ice maker, etc. And you see all the defects that are happening each day. If you add all those up by row, broken shelf, compressor failure, there's only like 10 of those, you're going to get the frequency of each one. And the most frequent would be enamel scratch after you've added them all up. Right? The percentage of enamel scratch is what you would chart using the cumulative data. And to get that, all you do is take the total number of enamel scratch, which was 167, and divide it by the total number of defects. Okay, and you get 33%. So enamel scratch is 33% of your defects. And on the left side, what should appear on the chart? Well, the most frequently recorded defect is what should be on the left side of the chart, which was enamel scratch. Okay, according to this, which defect occurred 20 times? Well, you look over here on the frequency side of the chart, and you go to the 20, and I come over and see, well, this happened more than 20, but it's the closest we get. Soldering, masking, not aligned. Pretty simple. How many columns will there be? Well, when you look at your columns or your bars, well, there's going to be as many columns and bars as there are defects that you are tracking. So in this particular instance, there's going to be 8. All right, according to this chart, which defect should we focus on first? Well, look at the longest or tallest bar. That's what we look at, surface scratch. According to this Pareto chart, which defect was the least common? Well, wrong color. Easy to spot. According to this, which defect should the improvement team focus on first? You go by frequency, of course. Now, a hole in the circuit board is only about 15–16% of your total, but it is the most frequent. All right, which defect occurred 20 times? We look at our frequency chart here. We come over, and cracks are the ones that are 20 times. All right, least common down here, containment on board, or contaminant. All right, so that is pretty much it today. If you want to go online to Ivy Learn and go to the end of segment 3 to do the review questions, it'll help you review the information. Make sure your notes are all filled out and complete for today. If you do not have your notes, then download the attached set of notes that I have put on Google Classroom, and then start filling them out as we do this. So to download them first, print them, fill them out, or do them on Notability, or however you want to do them, but you need to have them done. The other assignment that you're doing today is also attached to the Google Classroom, and it is pretty self-explanatory. Just follow the steps to create your own Pareto chart, and then upload that information to Google Classroom. The only thing you need to upload today would be the Pareto chart that you devise from the data that is listed on the sheet. If you have any questions, please contact me. I can Zoom with you if need to show you how to do the Pareto chart, or if you have questions, but it is pretty simple.